Thank you, Alaska here. Like the Minister again, welcome to the House. As I said, I would have really have liked to have seen Minister Joan Burton here this afternoon or this evening, but anyway, however, we'll go ahead with it anyway. The reason that I put on this adjournment today is that in the budget, we really moved the goalposts with regard to qualifications for the state pension. Up to last year, a yearly average of 20 would have given a person 95% of a state pension. But now, you know, the graduation of the different rates of pay and the different bands, that's not the case anymore. And women in particular got caught in the crossfire of this, really. And now I'm talking about a cohort of women who gave up their work through the marriage bar or that they voluntarily gave it up to raise a family. And these women then, and we're only talking about women who worked a few years before they had their family and then went back to work after having their family because their yearly average would be very much reduced by the years that they were raising their children. In April of 1994, the homemakers' credits were introduced for women who stayed at home to look after the family and raise the family, which is great, and I welcome that very much. But there are women now who are reaching pension age, and they are getting badly caught in for the rate of pension that they're paying. So it wouldn't be every woman that had to give up their work. There would be some women who never went back to work after raising their family. There would be other women who are probably widows at this stage and maybe on a widow's pension, and some may be even financially better off as a dependent adult on their husband's state pension. So it wouldn't be a huge number, but I'm talking about the years from 1968 to 1994, which is, I think, 26 years, that I'm looking for credits for these women, which would help them to increase their rate of their state pension. So I just wait to hear your response to it, or to hear the Minister's response that you were briefed with on it, and I'll speak further at that stage. Thank you.
Okay, Tara.
Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach, and thanks to Senator Moloney for raising this matter. The Homemaker Scheme was introduced, as she knows, in 1994 to make qualification for a state contributory pension easier for those who take time out of the workforce for caring duties. To be eligible for the scheme, a person must permanently live in the state, be aged under 66, have started insurable employment or self-employment on or after the age of 16 and before the age of 56, not work full-time, although a person can work and earn less than €38 gross per week, care for a child under 12 or an incapacitated person on a full-time basis. The scheme allows up to 20 years spent caring for children under 12 years of age or incapacitated adults to be disregarded when a person's social insurance record is being averaged for pension purposes. However, it is important to note that the scheme will not, of itself, qualify a person for a pension. The standard qualifying conditions which require a person to enter insurance 10 years before pension age, pay a minimum of 520 contributions at the correct rate, and achieve a yearly average of at least 10 contributions on the record from the time they enter insurance until they reach pension age must also be satisfied. For those who do not qualify these conditions and have an income need, a means-tested state pension may be available. I'm sure the Senator is well aware of all this anyway. The 2007 Green Paper on Pensions indicated that to backdate this scheme to 1953, the year when the unified system of social insurance was introduced, would cost the Exchequer €160 million. Costs in relation to this scheme under the current rules are expected to increase in the coming years due to the increase in female employment rates since 1994. The National Pensions Framework 2010 proposed a system of homemakers' credits to replace the current disregard, and backdating to 1994 has been considered as part of the broader pensions reform process, including a move to a total contributions approach to pension eligibility. This would mean that people reaching pension age could have credits rather than disregards applied to their records to cover the periods of care since 1994. This would represent an enhancement, particularly for women and those who take time out of the workforce for caring duties. However, such an approach will impose additional costs and can only be considered in the context of the wider pensions reform debate and in the context of the budgetary process. But I will say to Senator Moloney, I will convey to the Minister for Social Protection your anxiety to have this matter dealt with, and perhaps in the context of the budgetary process that a start can be made on giving some pension respite or pension cover to some of these recipients.
Okay, thank you, Minister.
Sorry, that's clear. Thank you, Minister. I would appreciate if you would, and of course I will raise the issue with her myself. I raised it at the Oireachtas Committee meeting with Social Protection and Department last week, and I still, I don't, you gave us figures there of how much it would cost, but I'd really love to know how many people are we talking about here, because, you know, as I've already stated, I don't think it's as many as people think, you know, and I do understand about them having to have the 520 paid contributions in beforehand, but up until the last budget, these people were able to qualify for 95% and haven't taken the time out. And I'm delighted that today's modern women will be facilitated with a homemaker's credit. But I would like to push this a bit further and perhaps have a look at it in the budgetary context. And I take up the Minister myself as well. So thank you, Minister.